If you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. That's something my old boss used to say to me. And I always thought, what does that even mean? Well, almost 10 years later, I think I figured it out. It's Sunday, and I normally use a Sunday to plan out the week ahead and binge some World of Warcraft, to be honest. But I was a bit gutted that I didn't get to finish everything I'd set out to do yesterday, so I was hoping I could smash some of those things out today and finally get to track some guitars. But first, we've got to get that morning cardio in. Getting a morning walk in is something that I started doing earlier this year, and to be honest, now that I've started, I don't think I'll ever go back. It's easy to go about life and not give yourself some time to just step back and reflect on things, and that's something that walking has allowed me to do. Obviously, you've got the health benefits and everything like that to do with it, but I like using that time to reflect, to listen to some music, some demos, reflect. I keep saying the word reflect. I can actually stick some good headphones on and listen back to demos from yesterday or the week prior, and I've not got any distractions, so I'll be able to truly listen to them. It's just a chance to clear your head. It also helps me gather my thoughts and figure out what it is that I've got to do next, which is where planning comes in. I'll normally do some planning on a Sunday. I'll probably just grab a coffee and grab my iPad or my notebook and start writing out everything that I want to achieve this week. So for the past few weeks or months, it's just been songwriting, write some songs. But I've kind of committed to creating some content now, and I think if I'm going to be able to juggle the content and the music and everything else, I'm going to have a schedule. Otherwise I might drive myself insane. But planning's really helped me because my memory is a sieve and I forget all sorts of things, but just having like a calendar or a diary where I just know exactly what I've got planned, it's just fixed so many problems for me. It also just stops me doing stuff that I don't need to be doing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a human. Like, I don't always stick to these plans, and yes, I do sack everything off and just watch anime and Netflix. But I think it happens a lot less now that I've got like a plan. So with everything planned out for the week ahead, it's time to move on to my next job, my meal prep that I kindly put off from yesterday. As you can see, the planning is going well. So on a Sunday, I kind of just use it as like a day to reset, do some cooking, some meal prep, because you know, Sunday's the day of rest, so I've been told. So today we're making chicken, brown rice, and broccoli, but not plain because it's Christmas and I'm allowed to treat myself. So we're making like a chicken teriyaki. Realistically, I am making chicken and broccoli, but it tastes a little bit better than just plain chicken and broccoli. The best thing I've ever purchased in my life, a rice cooker. Super fluffy, amazing rice every time. I'm also gonna cook a chili as well, and that'll basically make up all my food for the week, so I can focus on writing metal. Always wash your rice, boys. I have to pull my sleeves up because it's shit everywhere. So just recently I've been writing reverie songs. I've literally been writing now since May, and I've sort of finished 7 songs for this reverie album. And it's only now that I've kind of decided, like, I'm sick of not having anything out, especially as soon as I'm creating all this content. And obviously you guys have said that you're excited to hear it. So I think I've decided to change my focus a little bit. And instead of writing all 10 songs now, I'm just gonna fully release them one at a time. But I want to do it properly, you know. I want to release the songs properly. I want them to be completely finished, mixed, mastered, and then I want to, like, you know, have some artwork for each single that I'm going to release, and then maybe even like a music video for each one, and then I'll drop the remaining songs on the album to complete it. But I'm so annoyed that I've not got anything out yet, so I'm just going to finish a song, do a music video for it, and bang it out so that I can get it out there, and then I can say I've got something. I've got somewhere to point people when they want to listen to the music. And then obviously if you wanted to see how it was made, you could literally watch these vlogs and see exactly how I made the entire thing. which is kind of what I'm going for with this. So yeah, that's the new focus. Another part of the planning process for me is I'll create a to-do list of everything that's currently on my mind that I know I have to do. I'll just write them all down into a big list. And then I'll give them a number and I'll just number them. So I don't know, let's say there's 20 things. I will just give them a number 1 to 20 in order of priority. And what dictates that priority for me is how important it is to me, but also how quick it is to do. Like if I've got something that I can do in 2 minutes, I'll just do it. I'll put it at like number 1 because that'll be the easiest thing to tick off. And by doing this, you get to clear off all of the shitey jobs that are currently like weighing you down in your head, which gives more brain bandwidth to work on bigger tasks like, you know, writing songs and tracking guitars and stuff. So now that I've done my meal prep, I can actually finally start working on what I had planned for today, which is tracking some guitars. So in order to get some really nice, clear, tight sounding guitars, I'm gonna need to restring the guitar and then practice the song a little bit, and then we can start getting some takes in. So the guitar that I have is a PRS Mark Holcomb signature guitar. It's a 7-string because 6 wasn't enough strings for me. I found a deal on Facebook Marketplace for this particular guitar. The guy was really sound and it was a great deal for the guitar that it was, and I really needed a 7-string at the time, so I just went and bought it. I'll be using the Ernie Ball 7-string power slinkies, which are 11s, because they are thick. I just find that playing with these, I have a little bit more stability while I'm playing, when I'm playing in this low tuning, and they work well for me. So that's what we'll be using. So we're gonna give it a little bit of a clean up and we're gonna restring the guitar. So now we just need to clean it up a little bit and get some new strings on. I always tend to start with the higher strings first and work my way down. Now the main thing is making sure that the ball is all the way up at the top at this end, and then giving yourself enough length. You've got to make sure you've got enough length, boys. Right, so we need to plug this bad boy in and stretch the strings out and practice some songs, so let's do that. As you can tell, that sounds fucking lovely. Let's tune it, shall we? I tend to just give it a little bit of that. Step 1 to tracking rhythm heavy guitars. Let's go, boys. So I'm going to record some DIs and some wet tone, just because I prefer playing into tracking with some distortion, with some tone, so that I can sort of hear how it feels. But I might end up changing that with the DIs later on, so let's get some tracked. The problem that I faced was I just assumed that I could pick up my guitar and track the guitars. What I hadn't factored in is I wrote this song like 2 months ago. I'd totally forgotten how to play it. In order to track guitars to the quality that I want them to be, I need to restring them. Like, I just hadn't planned for all of this. And I think this is what he meant by fail to prepare, prepare to fail, because I hadn't planned for all of these things when I should have, and I definitely could have, because if I'd have just taken 5 minutes to have a think about what tracking guitars entails, I definitely would have factored these things in. And because I slipped up, it made the whole process like twice as long, and I didn't get nearly as much done as I hoped I would because I spent so long restringing the bloody guitar. And the time that I had scheduled to do some guitar tracking just went by like that. So what can I do? How can I learn from that mistake that I've made today? My immediate thought is buffer time. Maybe have gaps in your schedule that allow you to overrun, because, you know, let's say you schedule 2 hours to do something. If it takes you 2.5 hours, the entire day is going to be bumped back, and if you have no buffer time, you are actually screwed. So that's definitely something I can take on board. The other thing about it is maybe I don't need to be so stringent to the plan. Maybe I could be more flexible. Okay, I didn't get this done today, so I'll move that to tomorrow, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, everything's going to get done as long as I've planned it out and given myself enough time to do stuff, I guess. I don't know. It's a test and learn scenario, I think. And the other thing I definitely didn't do, which I probably should have done, is plan for things going wrong. Like, I totally underestimated how much of that song I just didn't know. And I had to relearn the whole song. But it's just, even that, something as small as, oh, I'd forgotten how to play this riff and now I have to relearn it, set me back so far in terms of time. So yeah, maybe trying to plan for things going wrong as well. So I didn't get to track nearly as many guitars as I wanted to. I've just run out of time today, which I guess you could say was shite planning on my part, I guess. You fail to prepare, then prepare to fail, I guess. So I'm still learning. This video is kind of like the second video in this kind of vlogging series that I'm doing, where I'm just documenting the creation process of this album, this metal album for my band Reverie. And if you want to check out more of that journey, then check out this video, but otherwise, cheers for watching.